Hi guys, it's Annalie here. So this is um, day two of the 21 day live challenge. And I am going just to take another breath because my heart again is beating out of my chest. Just slow down and center myself. If you are jumping on, come say hello so don't feel like I'm talking to an empty space. Okay. So, this is the second day of my live challenge. And I have experienced my very first challenge in this challenge. So I think that's what I'm going to share today around my experience of this particular challenge. Hi Kalpen, I'm good, how are you? Well, I'm going to tell you how I am. So after yesterday's live, I was in a really good space of feeling excited and inspired. And I noticed that throughout my live, there was mind chatter kind of going on. And it was quite interesting to see what my mind was trying to tell me. Hi, Julia. And it was telling me all of these things, and I didn't engage in that mind chatter as I was on live. And you did notice that I had to take a moment to kind of breathe and center myself so that I could become present, because when mind chatter comes, I want to escape because it doesn't feel safe. And connecting to breath really helps me ground back into myself. And I can even feel now that I'm settling into this live a lot easier. But yeah, I noticed the mind really challenging me over the last 24 hours. And it's been pretty intense. Hey, babe. And I, just before coming onto this live, I was having a conversation with my partner, Roman, about how challenging it has been navigating through the chatter and what the mind wants you to do or wants to tell you or wants to plan. Like I noticed myself wanting to plan what I'm going to say for the next day, basically dictating like this is what you're going to say and planning it out and analyzing everything. And I entertained that for a little bit, and I noticed myself wanting to get sucked into that cycle. But today I had a conversation with my mum, and she delivered a really beautiful message, whether she knows it or not. And what I took from our conversation was sometimes the mind is such a powerful thing, and it can work against you, but it can also be a support. Depending on what you choose to believe or choose to listen to. And what the message that I got from my mum was that sometimes when we focus on the negative, and I hope this is making sense, when we choose to focus on the negative, what we're not doing, what we're not saying, or what we think we should be saying, or what we think we should be doing, and judging it, that we miss the complete point. Like we miss the whole process in itself. And this is what I've been experiencing. And I feel like even though this is a live challenge and I'm coming up against these obstacles and challenges, This is something that I deal with on a day-to-day basis, and it's not something that's just unique to this particular challenge. This manifests itself in life in general. And I think because, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, where you know a lot, right? You've done a lot of work on yourself, you know a lot, and there's so much judgment that comes in because you already want to be where you think you should be. And then what happens is you miss everything between what you seeded and what your intention is and what you're wanting to experience. And you're missing everything in between because you're so focused on wanting to get to the end goal. And I feel like this is something that I come up against consistently. And I feel like this is why in the past it's been really difficult for me to continue, because I'm so frustrated with myself that I'm not where I think I should be. And that was the message that I got from my mum this morning, was like, when you focus on the negative and not on the positive, then, that's what you're choosing to feed your soul. That's the environment that you're choosing to create for your soul to be in. And I see our soul as being this seed. So this challenge, my intention, I planted this seed. And now I'm having to be really aware of what I'm feeding this seed and what I'm nurturing it with and what I'm choosing to surround it with. So I can either, let's just say, I can kill it, or I can really support its growth. So I guess the analogy that I'm really wanting to use with this is the seed, and, nurturing it and feeding it and giving it the support it needs to be able to bloom into a beautiful plant or a beautiful flower. And that's what I feel like I am in the process of at the moment. Is I've seeded this intention, and now I'm having to face the things that get in the way of me choosing to support this seed, and I'm having to face off with it. And today was really hard for me. I literally, before coming onto this live, was having conversation with my partner, and I was in absolute tears because it is challenging. It's really hard. It's not fucking easy. And I really want people to know that, because I feel like people think it's easy. It's not, and that's the reality of it. It's a constant practice. People, I feel, have this misconception that you work on it enough, and you work with your mindset enough, that you'll never have to worry about having to come up against that challenge ever. And I feel in my own experience, and this is just my experience, that's not the case. You're constantly confronted with it. And right now, I feel like I have more of a foundation to be able to navigate that and choose what I want to be in alignment with, which is supporting my seed. And I want to do everything that I can to support this seed to grow however it wants to grow. And I don't want to miss the process of every day, the growth that happens. And I guess today I want to acknowledge that I was able to move through that, allowing myself to feel what I needed to feel, the fear, the anxiety. And I know that a lot of people can resonate with this. When anxiety hits, it's almost like you've got no control over what you're feeling, this fear. It's like a fight or flight, and there's, it's so hard. And then sometimes you can't control it. And that's exactly what I was feeling today. I was so resistant to coming on live. I kind of wanted to avoid it and not have to come on live. But I do notice that the more that we resist the acknowledgement of what's actually moving through us in that moment, the more that it persists and the more that it's in your face, like you can't escape it. And I found myself sitting there going, all right, Annalie, what would you tell your client? Coaching myself and guiding myself through this process. And I said to myself, like, you need to feel this. You need to feel the entirety of this without attaching a story or a meaning or anything to what you're feeling. So I did, and, you know, I've had a few instances where I've allowed myself just to let it all flow out. And I'm feeling a whole lot better for it. And yeah, it's a strange place that I'm in, because it's like I can feel the fear and the anxiety, but on the other hand, I feel this excitement and this passion, and like I can't wait to see what else comes from this challenge, because I'm already seeing, like, this is day 2. I'm seeing so much growth within myself already. And even my relationship to social media has shifted. And I really noticed that yesterday I was able to invest some time in watching all of the people who are in this challenge, watching their videos and their shares, and choosing to see the positive and celebrating each person for what they shared, and really focusing on that. And what I've seen shift in my relationship with social media, because I had a really love-hate kind of relationship with social media, and there'd be times where I'd be on it all the time, and then I'd withdraw and want nothing to do with it, because I found myself in comparing myself to other people. And it's a very human thing, because that's how, you know, we've been programmed to operate, is in that comparison. But I'm really wanting to shift that and move into a place where I'm not having to compare myself to other people. And what was really beautiful about witnessing other people in their shares was that I could see I could see how much I just wanted to celebrate them for who they were and what they brought to their share, and to learn, because I learn so much from other people sharing, which is why I feel called to be doing this, is because I know that in sharing the realness, the truth of what you're going through and your own experience, that a lot of people can relate, and a lot of people can receive their own medicine. Just like my mum, like, she didn't know that what she shared with me was what I was going to receive, but it was. So yeah, Kylie, you're beautiful, and the artwork behind you, yes, nature, yes. The weather here in Melbourne is a little bit fickle, so it's a little bit hard to kind of get out into nature. I would love nothing more than to be out in nature, but it's a bit hard here in Melbourne at the moment. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much all I wanted to share for now. Yeah, I think just reiterating that it is a process, and the mind can get in the way. Actually, this feels really important to share, because as I was kind of moving through everything that I was going through today, I sat there and I asked my mind, you know, like, what do you need because it felt like this energy of like, oh my God, I'm going to die. And so I asked my mind, like, what is it that you need right now? And it was interesting to hear the response. The response was that I just need you to hear me. I just need you to listen to what my concerns are. And then it was such a beautiful thing to witness my heart, this conversation with my heart and my mind. And my heart came in and just said to my mind, like, it's okay. I've got you. You're safe. And then in that moment, I could just feel the relief, and that the mind didn't have to change. I could just listen and honor what its concerns were and move through that energy. And yeah, that it's a process. It's a process, and it's not easy. And I guess the message that I want to sort of put out there is be patient with yourself. You don't have to be anywhere. It completely distracts you from being where you are right now and acknowledging what you're experiencing right now. And that, for me, has been such a challenge in my life. So I'm really becoming more aware of that through this challenge and having to navigate through that. So this is why I said yesterday that this challenge is so much more than just going on Facebook Live, and there's so much that I am learning about myself already, and it's been 2 days. So excited to see what is going to evolve over the next, is it 19 days? The next 19 days. So yeah, tune in, come along for the ride. And yeah, I am committing myself to just being me, and however that looks. A lot of people know me as being somebody who is always joyful and happy and all of that. And I really want to just break through that perception, because there's a lot of work that I do behind the scenes for me to be able to embrace that joy and embrace that happiness. And it's not something that just happens, you know, you've got to do the work. So hopefully that hopefully has supported somebody. I know it supported me, and I am here for me. And anything, you know, that comes from me sharing in terms of support for others is a bonus. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.